we're back with Lady Destroyer MADNICE to share one of his most beloved of collections.
As Duckman stated, I am delighted to present a most wonderful collection of knives, blades, and cutlery. One of the absolute pleasures I indulge in is collecting and admiring these sharp-pointed edges of justice. I find these instruments fascinating beyond wisdom.
Holy quack! You sure sound passionate about this.
Absolutely. We're going to comb over some of my favorite pieces. I'll show you some cool things, describe the various types of pocket protection.
Sounds good. When should we start?
I do believe we're ready to begin at the sound of the quack.
Let's do it. Now, I'm a complete novice when it comes to knives. Where should I start when first collecting, or whatever?
Wonderful question, and one I receive most often from aspiring collectors. The answer I like to give is a knife of full tang lineage. Full tang knives are excellent blades for the beginner. They look nice and cut very well for the price. The name is also quite seductive. Moving forward, we have what is known collectively as a survival blade, used primarily for camping and hunting in the wilderness.
That looks incredibly scary and deadly.
Our instincts prove correct.
Yes.
This knife, though somewhat of a gimmick, is not only deathly intimidating, but useful for what it claims. The survival blade has useful items housed in a waterproof capsule containing emergency matches, strike pad, fishing wire, and hooks, and even a compass on the underside. Why don't you have a feel, mate?
Legally, I shouldn't. Here, take this.
Okay. Guess I'll take the mic then. What do you think of that there blade?
Well, it's a nice blade. It feels sturdy and heavy because it's thick, it's shiny. It got a nice stab to it. If you had to stab something repeatedly, I feel like it will get the job done. To all the fellas out there, if you duck with me, I will show you my wrath.
The stalk of a man is unhinged and is not ducking around. Running the blade up and down his body. As you can see.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Here.
Did we lose you there for a tick? It happens to the best of us, lad. Don't take it to heart.
I just can't believe it. I really did just lose control.
Yes, quite well. It's time to move on to our next piece. A blade that never shows its age and always has another cut to slice. This next knife holds immense sentimental value to me, as I inherited this beaut from my maternal grandfather, as requested in his extensive will.
Since you had this?
Since I was a young buck, around the age of 6.
Okay. So before the war?
Yes.
Okay then.
My pep told many legends about this blade. He used this knife for several of his monthly safari excursions to subdue and skin the most rare and exotic species of animals that inhabited the inner slummings of Detroit. A righteous man, he was known for being quite the dandy back in his heyday, albeit with a drinking problem and a heavy gambling addiction. He owned and operated some of the most notorious brothel houses in the latter U.S. colonial times. I miss him. Such exquisite memories. But it's time to move on.
Wow, what a fantastic tale!
Next up, we have an elaborate and ancient blade from the pocket division of knives. Assembled in the Netherlands, it's quite a handy tool for everyday use.
Oh yeah? That looks familiar. Where have I seen that?
Well, it's a piece that I've used extensively for defending myself against angry mobs of townsfolk that desire to banish me from the village of which I was conceived in. I don't wish to talk about that knife anymore, as it holds extremely negative memories and anxious erections. Quickly treading forth, we have another fabulous knife forged in the lakes of fire. A flipper knife is very popular amongst collectors and hoodlums alike because of its quick draw and attractive presentation.
That is crazy.
I came about owning this knife, wresting it away from my half-sister, whom was trying to seduce me with her bewitchingly good looks. Take a gander at this right quick. Realize this takes little to no action at all to pop out. As you can see, it's dangerously fast and almost truly intimidating to carry for daily use. Beautiful blade, this one. Is there a particular piece you're interested in?
Actually, yes. There are some knives with pictures in them over here.
Yes, those are both handsome choices indeed. Now these were medals, trophies of sorts, that I was presented with after the war to commemorate the role I was assigned.
Very nice.
These picture pocket knives were crafted by hand and soaked in the blood of their respected animal. The natives believed this ritual would trap and confine the spirit of the animal into the steel of the blade, infusing it with stats of at least plus 60 stamina and plus 90 intellect. All this heat reminds me of another classic example of not judging a book by its cover, introducing the throbbing sensation
What? Yeah.
known as
Yes.
tiny knife.
Yes. What? What is that? It's true, it's not the size of the boat, but the motion of the ocean. And let me tell you, that is a small f***ing boat
It's
right
there to
there.
get the job done.
Yes, definitely.
Many may scoff and even tease, but once you learn the rhythm, it's the bee's knees.
Wow, I sure have learned more than expected. This whole interview has been quite informative.
I serve no mortal man, but reside in this flesh prison of deceit. After years of torment, ridicule, pain, and suffering, I swear to break these chains that suffocate me and the stench of this rotten, nihilistic world. Once you master the art of the blade, the puzzle pieces of life start to fit together, come together, to reveal a most electrifying and fascinating painting filled with a creamy residue, laced with untapped mystery, adventure, horror, pleasure, and divine taste. One last time for the motherfuckers in the back, the mask only covers up our horrific scars sustained during intense blading excursions, and will not be replicated, will not be replaced, will not be repaired.
Yeah.
This has been a MADNICE collection.
Yes,
You shall not find a better collection.
Peace out. Yeah, peace. See ya. See you later. Oh, yes.
Welcome to the future of wrestling, Mike!